In this key, this guy who's playing a Resto Druid does more damage than the actual damage dealers. Now, at first glance, you might think like, oh, okay, well, those guys just suck. But like, I mean, I don't really look at the numbers that you're going to see on the screen here as bad. That guy just goes absolutely insane. I checked it out in the moment. It doesn't seem like anything is going on out of the ordinary. There's not some like absurd spell doing like 90% of his damage or anything like that. And we talked about like all different possibilities about how this is happening, but we cannot find a clear consensus. The thing that really troubles me on this one is that he's actually beating DPS. Like, that is very abnormal. I've rarely ever seen a healer actually do more damage than DPS. There's been a few examples, but it's mostly been Holy Pally in the past, and that was like mostly inside like some major CD. Now, I know Resto Druid has some CDs and they have gotten apparently a lot of buffs to their actual damage, but this is out of the ordinary for sure. I've played, there's already been Resto Druids. Nobody is even coming close to this number. At the end of the key, the guy hasn't done like an enormous amount of overall damage because he's all single target. It seems like there's not really any focus on AoE damage with whatever he's doing right now, but this is like unbelievably valuable in a tyrannical key. Like, I cannot express that enough, especially on the first fight here. Like, there's no actual healing needed on the fight. That's partially why he's able to do so much damage in the first place, but that really adds up. We basically had an extra DPS for this encounter. That's going to save so much time on the encounter. This is like the greater microcosm for what I've been talking about all these years when I'm talking about why healer DPS is so important. This guy knows he does not have to heal at all. So what should he be doing? Exactly this. I have an amazing video on this from Shadowlands where a guy during a full-on burn phase in Mist Eternus Sight, the first boss, like actually does 0 things to you while he's in this burn phase, and the guy is just spamming hots on people. That burn phase made the boss take like 200% damage or something like that. It would have been a significant amount of damage he did, and then we ended up wiping because the phase just elongated to the point where I don't know if he like runs out of mana, but he can't keep up with it. We basically got a whole nother phase of the boss, and if this guy just DPS through these burn phases, we would have killed the boss and potentially upgraded the key. So that's as clear as day. Like, I don't see there's really no debate for it. But the bigger question here is like, how is this happening? And then like, if we can actually identify how it's happening, why aren't other people doing it? Because like I said, I play with a bunch of Resto Druids. Nobody's touching this number. Nobody's doing anything like this. And this, like I said, this is just a free DPS that you're gaining from this guy's output here. Now, the other thing that's kind of concerning me is I tried to talk to him about it, and he just gave me stupid, weird answers, and he basically refused to talk about it. I said, like, what is going on with your damage? And he said, meow. People were musing over the fact that he's just, playfully saying I'm in cat form, but obviously it's not that simple. I do not buy anybody who's actually playing a healer looking at this number and thinking like, yeah, this is perfectly normal. Stop bothering me. So like, my first impression on this after 20 years of playing WoW is whenever anybody says something like this, it's probably an exploit. He's probably doing something that shouldn't be done. It's possible he thinks it's just going to be nerfed if he talks about it, kind of thing. Like, he's worried about even drawing attention to it. But there is a bit of a self-incrimination issue with WoW, where if you like willingly type information that should not be being done in the game, then you are potentially opening yourself up for action by Blizzard. But this has opened up a new topic that I would be interested in hearing your guys' thoughts on, like in terms of like meta healers, you know what I mean? Like, what do they bring right now that actually helps keys? Resto Druid is a very interesting one, and we've always had our problems with it. It's because I usually find them a very bad combination with Blood Death Knight, and for some reason a lot of the people playing Resto Druid just try to do nothing but heal the entire dungeon. We've talked this to death. I don't really care to talk about it again, but the point is now that if Resto Druid did actually bring adequate DPS to the key, then they would suddenly be the best healer in my eyes. Their big X factor is the interrupt. Now, it's funny because Growl actually watched a video I made last week on something that was tangential to this topic, and during me talking about that topic, he really strongly reacted to me saying that Resto Druid doesn't have an interrupt either. That's coming from somebody who probably doesn't do a lot of pugging, especially as a non-healer, but if you did, you would see that no Resto Druids ever take interrupt in keys. I would actually be interesting, like, you guys are challenged on this. Go look through the spreadsheet and take a look at every single key with Resto Druid. Go click on the link and tell me how many of them have an interrupt. You can see it on the screen on the weak aura. That is a big issue. But Grawl talked about it like he was super confident that you should never even not consider taking an interrupt. 3 dungeons that are just need hundreds of interrupts per dungeon, and there's just not a lot of people playing classes with interrupts outside of the DPS role.
Do you think that's gonna hurt Disc, man? Disc feels like like a good healer right now, but like I just feel like it doesn't fit in. The classes that I'm PIing, they don't really need PI. Like it's nice, but it's kind of like whatever. I feel like I don't have a kick. I feel like my CC is not that good. I feel like I'm very squishy. I think I think disc just doesn't fit in, unfortunately. I think disc is great. I think you should be very, very happy to play disc this season. But in terms of it existing in the top level of keys, like fuck man, I don't know.
Things can't be stunned or gripped. You just need straight up actual interrupts. And when you have over half the healing population playing either Resto Druid or Discipline Priest, then that is a big issue.
Resto Druid has an interrupt. As much as all the Resto Druids, I'm sorry, but if I'm playing Resto Druid, I'm bringing kick unless I like need to not bring it to survive. I think every Resto Druid who doesn't bring kick, especially now that you're taking cat talents, like it's one thing if you didn't go anywhere near that side of the tree because it hurt you so bad, but it's actually so like I don't know, dude. You're trolling. If you're playing this season right now, you're Resto and you're like, yeah, I don't want to play kick. Just put it on your fucking bar, man. Just put it on your bar. Get used to it. Like stop trolling, especially in pugs. Everyone fucking cries about not having a kick, and then druids get one. They're like, but I don't want to be a kitty. I don't want to be a kitty. I just want to be a human.
I get it. It's harder to use the interrupt, but if you're, doing 200k burst, then you're already in cat form, right? So you can probably just interrupt too while you're in that form. This could change the whole game. Like if this is real, if this is not some exploit, if this is something that people are replicating, then this could be a really big deal. Everybody's going nuts about Disc Priest. I really don't get it. I guess because it's fun, it's easy, blah, blah, blah. Their kit is just not good for pugging. It's never going to be unless they get an interrupt and more utility in general. They nerfed all their major utility. Now we're at a point where they're basically just healers with nothing else, and that is the death sentence in a pug. You cannot rely on that type of thing. We actually saw it squarely in Everbloom this week. People made a big deal about me saying we needed an interrupt. The guy ended up just not taking. He took a Disc Priest anyway, and we ended up wiping to the boss with all the casting because all of us started overlapping our casts. And obviously that is an error on our part, but that's why it's a pug. You're not going to be able to communicate this. You're not going to be able to see this on the fly and immediately react to it without voice chat, without the actual communication that normally exists in real groups. So in a pug, the way you do it, you just put a band-aid on it and grab somebody who's got an extra interrupt. So the chances of all 5 people missing their interrupt is lower than 4 people. But anyway, take a look at this. Let me know. We talked a lot about this. Like Faxu was saying it could be his stats. He said like somebody in his guild is doing crazy DPS as a Resto Druid and he's like full mastery, but I checked this guy's character out. He is not gemming or enchanting mastery. I don't think it's any one thing. I think there's either something more going on here or maybe it's just a coincidence, but yeah, I don't really understand it. And you guys who are playing Resto Druid, if you are actually a Resto Druid main, please come forward and leave your thoughts on this. If you believe it's absurd, if you believe it's an exploit, give that opinion. But if you think it's real, like, hey, I get it. Yeah, maybe it's going to get nerfed if there's too much attention around it. But it raises this larger topic about like, should healers be able to do really good DPS in especially a 5-man setting? Long story short, I'm a big fan of when healers who don't actually need to heal anything significant, they just focus on doing damage or maybe even other utility that the class can offer. So take a look at this. Let me know what you guys think. What's the most challenging dungeon so far? As of last week, it was Rise and Throne, but they made some significant changes to Throne, so I'm looking forward to seeing those changes in action. What the fuck is this? Resto Druid? 200k? What's happening? Is it a bug? Do we love them now? What's happening? How is he doing 200k DPS? He's doing more than 2 DPS. He's top DPS. They buffed the cat form? Not that much. There's no way they buffed him that much. Does he have beacon? No, bro. It's all look. He's still doing it. Like it's just straight up his damage. It's not like it. Yeah, this is sustained 100+ K. He's top damage on the fight. I'm so confused now. I don't even know what to do. Should I just leave? Why can't I grip that? What's going on? This mob is not CCable. What the hell just happened? Let me pick up my jaw. This made you change thoughts? Dude, I mean, obviously this is not intended, right? There's no way. They become CC immune when they get too close, so yeah. Boss is weak to having his toes nibbled on. Getcha. There's no way that they want healers to be the top damage on a fight. So this is either a bug with details, a bug with WoW, or that guy's cheating. Or he's not resto, I guess, yeah. I don't know about that. Guess it's possible that he's not resto. Looks like he's resto.
Now I see.
The darkness. It is gone.
Yeah, okay.
You aren't the ones who did this? I understand now. You must find Kutalos.
I just wanted to show this, like, I don't want to put the entire key in here. The guy doesn't do anything crazy overall, but the rest of the key, like, I have it on the spreadsheet, so I'll just put the link down there for you guys to take a look at if you want to see the other bosses or even just, like, the trash and stuff. This is obviously the one where he does the most damage on, because as you see, he did 0 healing. Like, there was no actual healing needed on the fight. But otherwise, leave your thoughts on something like this being a feature of the game and not a bug, if that's actually what's happening here. And if you're celebrating Thanksgiving, please make sure you have a happy Thanksgiving. Spend time with your family, man. Otherwise, we will see you guys again soon. I'll be back tomorrow with more streams, and we'll talk about what we're doing for the rest of the week. So thank you for watching, and we will see you guys in the next one.